guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. My name is Michaela. I'm a 21-year-old foster mom making videos about motherhood, foster care, cooking, cleaning, lifestyle hauls, all that good stuff. Today is a interesting video. We are back at court again for the first time since July, so it's been a while. We had goal change in July, and now this is our TPR pre-trial hearing. I've never been to one of these before, so I kind of reached out to some people on foster care support groups and some other local foster parents to see what it's like. And it's kind of new because in Kentucky there's a new law that says foster parents can be listed as parties, because previous to this they weren't allowed in the courtroom, so at least in our state. So this is kind of new and uncharted territory, so I guess we'll find out what it's like. But from what I can gather in my knowledge of pretrial hearings is there's kind of two ways that the judge can rule in this case. They can either go ahead and move forward and set a final TPR hearing, or they can reverse, go back and give biological family some more time to work a case plan. It's also time for the lawyers and everything to submit any motions that they have, getting ready for the trial, things like that, making sure everybody's on target with all of that. So I still find myself nervous anytime before I go into court, but we'll just see how it goes and what the decision is, and we'll move forward from there. But like I said, it's uncharted territory, so I really don't know what to expect. So hopefully I can help some other foster parents who've never done this before and who have never been in this situation as like in a TPR kind of case or whatever. So hopefully this helps somebody, because I'm kind of a nervous wreck. So, but I'm going to get my makeup on and get ready, and I'll check back with you guys in a little bit to show you what I'm going to wear to court. Okay, so this is what I'm wearing. I'm just wearing long sleeve. It's really cold. And some black pants, and I've got just simple black heels on with just some simple jewelry. Hopefully, I've got a suit jacket to take with me as well, just in case, because it's really cold. But this is what I'm going to wear, and we're about to head off. Ooh. Okay, guys, it's much later now. It's like almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Been back from court for a while, although we were there for a while this time. Not necessarily because our case took so long, but the court was running behind, so. And they took a recess right before we were called, so we were there for a little bit longer than we normally are. But this court date was a migraine. As I mentioned before, pretrial hearings are basically to set a date for a TPR final hearing, or for the judge to regress and say, okay, look, we're going to go back and we're going to do this, this, and this. We're going to give them more services, or yada, yada, yada. We're going to give them a little bit more time to work a case plan. So we go in, and basically there's some legal paperwork and legal issues that caused them to push this date back. If you're familiar with legal terms, I'll just say that somebody was supposed to be served that never got served, and it caused an issue with setting a date for a final TPR. So they had to push this exact same hearing back. So we're going to go back and do this all over again just to set a final hearing date. And they were going to do it November, and one of the attorneys was not available. It got pushed to the end of December, like right before Christmas. And so that pushes the final TPR hearing sometime in the spring of 2020. And I'm just frustrated. I'm so frustrated. Not because I want this to go any certain way, but because of this legal mumbo jumbo mess up that somebody could have definitely fixed. I mean, it's not that hard to make sure that someone got served, and if they didn't, try to figure out a way to serve them. But it didn't happen. There's nothing I can do about it. But it pushes these kids' permanency back even further, and it leaves them sitting in foster care, or as I like to call it, limbo, for we could have had a potential TPR date this year. So let's just say December, with a 30-day appeal period. With the holiday, probably would have been in around February that it was official, and then permanency from there would be adoption from someone, and that could have been done sometime next year, probably. Now that this issue has happened, it pushes TPR to the spring, and then you have to wait for an appeal period, which could fall in during the summer shutdown, and pushes the end of the appeal period, if not appealed, to probably like end of summer-ish, which means any adoption paperwork cannot be started until fall or winter. And if there is an appeal, it will drag it out that much longer. So it just extended this timeline of them being in foster care even longer. And that really frustrates me, because these kids need permanency. And it's not even that it's about them being with us. They need it wherever they go. Like, I firmly believe that. Like, if they were going to be reunified, they don't need to be sitting in foster care forever. They need to go. And they don't need to be staying in limbo. They either need to be reunified or be adopted. Like, it needs to happen soon. And the longer that these kids are in foster care, the older they get and the more questions they have, and the harder these questions are to answer. Not to mention, things continue, visits continue, and it's so hard on them. It's hard on kids, it's hard on families. It's just this mess up has caused at least probably a 5 to 6 month setback. And that's a lot of time for a child to be in foster care. When they're growing like this, I mean, that's more than half of our little girl's life. I mean, she's 8.5 months old. I mean, and look how much she's grown in that amount of time. Like, she's gonna be 2 by the time she gets permanency, if not older. It's so frustrating, and that is unfortunately how the system works. And you don't have to like it. I don't like it, but it's what we're dealing with. And so now we just wait until our December date, which also could potentially be moved because of its closeness to Christmas. So it could be potentially moved back again. Yeah. I know that I said it, but it's just frustrating. It's not so much frustrating for me as it is I'm frustrated for them. This is all going on behind the scenes, and they don't know. They don't understand. They don't know. They don't need to know at their ages. And every day of their life is valuable, and this is just like time being wasted. And that's frustrating. I mean, I just want the best for them, and I want permanency for them, because they do not thrive without it. These are kids that thrive on routine and stability, and this whole issue, it just pushes them further and further away from that. And it's hard. So now we have 2 more months of waiting, doing nothing, until this hearing comes up, where they set another date where we continue to wait and wait and wait and wait. And then we finally have the hearing. The judge makes his or her ruling. We wait the 30-day appeal period, and then we wait for whatever comes next. So it's just like a hurry up and wait situation. And I'm not a patient person. I'm just not a patient person. I have anxiety. So for me, this is just like more months of anxiousness, of not knowing what's going to happen, what's coming in the near future. And I know it sounds silly, but it's like, how do you plan for birthdays and holidays and things like that when you don't know what's happening? And it's just hard. And as hard as this is for me, I cannot imagine how hard this is for them. And we try to shield them from as much of it as possible, but they know that they're not like the other kids at school. Like, they don't have that same life. Like, it's confusing for them. It's very confusing. My 4-year-old asks a lot of questions, and he's very confused and doesn't understand. And he doesn't understand why he doesn't have a forever, if that makes sense. When we asked him for what he wanted for his birthday, he said that he wanted basically a forever family. That's what he wanted. And I took that to mean is that he just wants somewhere that he knows he's going to stay forever. And, you know, as a foster parent, you can't say certain things. Like, it would be totally unfair for me to say, oh, buddy, you're going to stay here forever and ever and ever, and then that not be true. I will not say that. I will not say that until I know for 100% fact that that is how it's going to happen. And I will not say he's going back to biofamily without 100% sure knowing that. And I don't know what goes on during visits and things like that, but I sure hope that there's not talk of, you're definitely coming back. Like, it's just, that's hard on them. And I don't want his heart to be broken one way or the other. He loves us both, and I mean, he really does love us both, and he just doesn't understand what's going on. And he's getting to the age where he's asking more questions, and the questions are getting harder for me to answer. When kids are really young, there's a lot of, I don't want to say lying, but there's a lot of redirecting their thoughts and questions because the answers are just too hard and too much for them, and then they don't understand. But as he's getting older, he's starting to ask more difficult questions, and ones that I can't really tiptoe around anymore. And, you know, after talking with people, it's getting to the point now where I shouldn't tiptoe around it, and that I need to start being honest, extremely honest with him, even though it may be hurtful. And he may not like the answer, but he's getting to that age that he's asking the questions and I need to answer honestly. So it's just more months of questions, more months of not knowing. And that's hard. That's hard on everyone involved, on both sides, foster family sides, potential adoptive family sides, biological family sides, children's lives. I mean, it's all over the place for everybody. And I just wish the legal system worked a little faster, and I wish that the foster system would work a little bit faster. There's so much that I can't explain, and maybe one day I will be able to, but for privacy reasons, obviously I can't and won't. I want what's best for these kids, and I want them to have forever from someone. And so wherever that is, I just wish they'd get there fast. That's really all I want. When you talk about praying, like, oh, pray for reunification and pray that everything, you know, biological families work their case plans fast so they can get them back fast. And that's what you pray for. I mean, you pray that they work so hard and that these kids go home fast. That way, that they're not continuously traumatized in the foster care system. And not saying that they're being traumatized here, but, you know, coming into foster care is traumatizing in and of itself. Just being ripped away from the only family that you know. I mean, they don't know if that family is not appropriate. It doesn't matter. To them, that's the only family that they know. And so that's hard on them. And so the longer that they're in, the more confusing it gets. And that's the longer that they're away from their biological family. And if they're going to go back, they need to hurry up and go back. I mean, obviously the parents need to do what they need to do, and the, you know, families need to work their case plans, but things should move much quicker than they do. and it's frustrating. I really don't have much else to say. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. Nothing really in our case is changing at this time, but it's just the legal mumbo jumbo, and it's just taking longer than everyone hoped it would and longer than it should. So, but here we are, and we're gonna make the best out of it, and we're gonna start getting ready for Christmas, and our youngest foster daughter's birthday is coming up in the winter, and so we've got some big things coming up to plan for and get ready for, and you know, everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out in its own time. It's hard not having access to that plan of how long this is going to take and yada, 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 what's going to happen at the end. It's hard not having that information, especially for someone that struggles with anxiety. So I'm going to do my best to cope with the not knowing, as I have done for the past year, and continue to hope and pray for the best, and that wherever these little babies end up, that they're safe and loved and well taken care of, because that's all that I want. And hopefully they get their forever home and family very quickly. That's all that I want for them. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys find this helpful. I'm sorry to be a little bit down in this video. This is just real life as a foster parent. It's just, everything is kind of all over the place, and you're just at the will of the foster care system, at the legal system. So it's normal to have reactions to it and have your own emotions about it. And this is just mine today for whatever reason. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.